Hello everybody, this is TD Bob. Appreciate you watching today. Big shout out to our subscribers. This video is about a trip I took to New Zealand with two friends from China. New Zealand is so far east that if one goes east from New Zealand, they cross the international date line and it's yesterday. People from New Zealand are called Kiwis. I had planned a photo trip on the South Island and had planned to meet my friends in Auckland to head south. From the beginning, things hadn't gone exactly as planned, but we had no idea we were in for 4 big surprises. We were sandwiched between 2 tropical cyclones and 2 earthquakes. The earthquakes weren't that bad, low 5s. It's a ring of fire thing, I suppose. I just thought somebody in the next room was using the bed as a trampoline. The fire department confirmed that there were quakes when we talked to them the next day. When I got to New Zealand and got a SIM card, I learned that Sean and Mia had already flown to Wellington, so I caught a commuter flight on down to Wellington myself. We spent the night at a personal residence near the beach and headed out the next day. Still no luck? You're trying a different one?
Yeah.
This is a ferry terminal out back. One would have to guess that's the ferry. And this is the bay into which the ferry leaves. Alrighty, we're finally into smoother water and we're looking at the South Island of New Zealand. They say we're still an hour out, but it seems they're going slow now. They've slowed down during the heavy wave action, but it seems like they could put a little bit of fire in the burner for this anyway. We're looking down the main street, which is High Street in Picton. It gets the distinction of being called High Street because in the valley it's the highest street. We're here at the Sea Breeze for breakfast. I've got a bar, but we don't need any of that yet. And I'm going to have a Eggs Benedict with New Zealand salmon. And my companion is going to have fried eggs and toast. Eat. Ready to eat.
Yeah, I'm starving.
You're what?
Starving. This is the Inter-Islander ferry service. They're coming in without cargo. They're going to do a semicircle and back in over by the Blue Bridge ferry. We took the Blue Bridge over, but they made us about 4 hours late because they were waiting on some unscheduled cargo to load. So we decided to take the Inter-Islander back across to Wellington.
This is the front lounge on the Inter-Islander ferry. If you pass outside, through the port to the deck, yeah, I know the sun's in my eyes too. Here's a look back into the village and the mountains and hills. That tallest building on the level just above the water in the sort of center of the frame is where we were staying. And back over here is Bob's Bay. And this is the wheelhouse, of course. Well, this is Bob's Bay. Not much of a bay, but Bob is a pretty short name, and I certainly can't complain. This, looking out past a small island, is where the ferry comes in, but the entrance is at least 12 or 15 kilometers long. The whole trip is a no-wake zone, 5 kilometers per hour, which is about the same speed you can walk.
Another meal for us?
Those are green lip clams.
Can we
And
eat
yes, they're edible. I don't know, it doesn't look like, I don't see any oil or anything on the water, so they could be edible. In some ways it's reminiscent of San Francisco. Of course, there's no big red bridge that I have seen yet. We're about to take off from Wellington, New Zealand. We've got about a 40-minute flight up to Auckland, and then a multi-hour wait for our trip to start to Australia and Malaysia, and finally Thailand. I believe he's about to pull us up off the ground. Kind of a Cape Cod look to a lot of the property around here. As you can see, Wellington is laid out across a number of hills and ridges. That's the downtown area coming into sight there. And the ferry we were on yesterday docks right down there. It appears that all the ferries are on the water right now, because I can't point you at one that's in the dock.